So with Captain America Civil War kicking off Phase 3 of the MCU, and with Infinity War ending that phase, so after that we'll be having Phase 4, I would imagine, because let's be honest, it's making money, Marvel ain't gonna stop. So once we get to that stage, a lot of people, and me included, are wondering what is going to happen. So today is going to be my kind of picks of Marvel movies that should happen in Phase 4. Now, I should actually kind of firstly say, I'm not going to lie, most of this, in fact, near enough the whole of what I'd like to see in Phase 4 is simply based on one big thing. Marvel does get the rights back to Fantastic Four, because I can tell you right now, if they don't, a lot won't be happening and what I would like to see in Phase 4. But anyway, let's kick off, frankly. So, I've got a feeling it'll be kind of a 4-year kind of thing. It'll be like, it'll start in 2020, turn 21 to 2, 23, and possibly into 24, I would imagine, maybe. But I'll kick off first of all my first kind of film I'd like to see, and that would be the remake of Fantastic Four yet again. And here's hoping actually Marvel might actually do it well. And as I said, hoping that Marvel does get the rights back for Fantastic Four, because that would be a big thing. And I would like to see Rian Johnson direct the film. I think what he's done with Looper and he'll be doing with Star Wars film, I'm looking forward to what he does with that. I think all great. I don't really have much of a fan cast really for Fantastic Four, but there's one I would like to see is Joaquin Phoenix as Mr. Fantastic. Marvel seems to be very interested in him. They wanted him for Doctor Strange, but it just didn't happen. So hopefully maybe that can happen with Mr. Fantastic. Maybe I think it would be great. I also think with the Fantastic Four film, it would be a good way to introduce SWORD organisation. I think that'll be the kind of thing after S.H.I.E.L.D. of what I think Infinity War will be the complete end of S.H.I.E.L.D. And the world will be like, right, we need something literally in space guarding the planet of possible incoming threats in space. As well as the Skrull would be the main villain I would like to see from Fantastic Four. I don't want to see any Doctor Doom. I think we've had quite a lot of Doctor Dooms. I think it would be quite interesting to have the Skrull. And I'll come back to why in a minute. And my next one would obviously be the sequel to the SpiderMan for SpiderMan Homecoming. I think the villain should be Venom. I think the whole storyline should be revolving around the whole symbiote and bringing in J. Jonah Jameson, who doesn't look like he's going to be in Homecoming, which I think is a bit of a shame. But, get him involved and get obviously his son involved as well as also more appearance of SWORD as well, because I think I would really connect with the whole symbiote as well. And for me, I'd like to see obviously Norman Osborn. I don't know, it might be in Homecoming yet, we might not know. And because I'm obviously an original person, clearly, I'd like to see Bryan Cranston as Norman Osborn, because I'm very inventive, you see, of my choices, obviously, as you can see. And next up, I would like to obviously, I think this obviously will kind of happen, it'll be out soon with the whole Doctor Strange film, but obviously a sequel to Doctor Strange. And I'd like to see Tim Burton direct that film. I'm a huge Tim Burton fan, and I think he would do a great job with the film. Also possibly Guillermo del Toro as well. I think he would actually do a pretty damn good job. But I would like to see the sequel possibly have more of a darker tone, though I think probably, I've not even seen Doctor Strange yet. For all I know, it could be quite a dark film, but that always seems to be the kind of thing, doesn't it, with sequels? It's like, oh, you make it darker, that's kind of the way you do with the characters, in the world that they're in, And I would like to see, doing stuff like a parallel universe. I think that would be great. You've got this whole dimension stuff with Doctor Strange, and I just think, for me, I think that would be quite a good little kind of thing. And next up is a Black Widow solo film. Now, this is not really kind of like an original one. I think many people want obviously a Black Widow solo film, and I'm very much included in that. But I would love to see it set in the 90s, which is a proper, the Russian spy kind of type character. I think Catherine Bigelow would do an absolutely great job in directing the film. What she's done in the past, I think, would absolutely suit for a Black Widow, film. I think if you have little cameos of Nick Fury and Hawkeye in there, I think it would be great, how they got into her life and seeing her progress into the kind of real kind of spy world that she's in, and I would very much enjoy that. So next up would be obviously for me, because I'm quite actually a fan of this character, but it's the Ghost Rider film. We're getting a Ghost Rider in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but it's not the character that I want, because I want the Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider, which thankfully they're not doing. They're doing the other kind of Ghost Rider, and that's the kind of Ghost Rider. For me, it's like Peter Parker, Spider-Man, Bruce Wayne, Batman. There's some characters that's their it's their one, and that's, for me, I think it's the best Ghost Rider, and Luke as well in the bike, and I love it. And for me, I'd love to see George Miller direct the film. because let's be honest, Mad Max is near enough basically what Ghost Rider can easily be. One long chase sequence is great. And for me, I like to see Matt Smith play Ghost Rider. I think he would, I think he would just do a really great job. Why is that? Because I really like Matt Smith as an actor, really. That's all I can say in that matter. Next up, a Thunderbolts movie I think would be interesting to do. What I want to see in Phase 4 is I want to see new, different kind of things, bring in a different... I also kind of want to see more supernatural kind of stuff. I think that'd be a good, like, hence with Ghost Rider, more Doctor Strange, I think that'd be quite good stuff. What team would that be? I've no idea, but I do quite like Songbird and Moonstone. I think they'd be quite good in the team for me personally. Next up, Guardians of the Galaxy Vol. 3. Not much I can say in this one, just personally I think, obviously it will happen I think, and it should be the last in the trilogy, the last of these characters I think as well. Next up is a Hulk solo film, not really obvious with this one here. I think many people want a Hulk solo film, me included. I couldn't tell you what I'd actually like to see in the film. Planet Hulk seems to be out of the question because they seem to be doing it for Thor Ragnarok, so that one's kind of out of the water, but anything with Mark Ruffalo I will just adore. Next up, a SpiderMan kind of Shattered Dimensions type film, much like the video game. I would love to see like a mix of the 2099 Spider-Man. I think that would be a great way to introduce the Spider-Verse as well. I would very much like to see, really. And next up, maybe a bit of an odd choice, possibly, because I think, if I'm honest, Netflix is going to do it, but this is what I'm trying to say about Phase 4. It'd be good if they keep kind of changing and moving and doing different things. Is a Moon Knight film, I think would be quite interesting to do, and it'd be something they've not really kind of done so far. It's a character with mental health disorders and all that, and I think it'd be quite interesting if they went down that kind of route. Very much a character a lot of people really could relate to, and I think that'd be very interesting to see and new and fresh to keep this, to keep this franchise constantly fresh. And the last one here, and this is also a big one for me because if they don't get the rights to Fantastic Four, we're kind of buggered with this one because it would be the Avengers film, Secret Invasion, and it will be the whole, you find out the whole Phase 4, the Skrull have been planting through, the whole kind of like face, and I quite like that idea really. And the team of the Avengers for me would be Captain Marvel would be the leader, Captain America would now be Bucky, Falcon, Scarlet Witch, Ant-Man, Wasp, and Black Panther would be the new kind of team, with like Fantastic Four appearing possibly because obviously they would have connections with it. And obviously in the after credits scene we would have Galactus would be like the kind of the new Thanos almost kind of thing. I think you need to have something kind of bigger, don't you? You need to have like what's the bigger threat now? And I think that'd be a great way to kind of do it, literally bigger physically, as well and powerful. I think that'd be a great way. Like, imagine the end of, you're seeing this Avengers film, then you see Galactus and he's now like the big baddie after Thanos. I think that'd be great. And as I said, this whole Phase 4 really does come down to hoping that, Marvel does get the rights in Fantastic Four. I think it was going to happen. I think we're just, one day it's going to happen, it's going to appear, hopefully. So yeah, that's my picks for Marvel movies I'd like to see in Phase 4. Tell me your picks, comment down below. Am I right, am I wrong? Is there some I may have missed? There's probably loads I missed. I'd like to know what you think. So hopefully some more videos in the future. So until then, see you later.